the stream. My name is Lee. Let me do a few things first. First of all, welcome. Secondly, hi. That's that one. Third one, nope, that's me. Okay. Hi. Yeah, no, I'm not turning me off. Okay, Bloodline, Master Playbooks. Okay, let me open a thing up. So, my name is Lee. Usually, she, her vibes today. I'm feeling kind of femme. Obviously, Tales of Work. Yes, this is the one. Not always, particularly femme. I'm not actually a full woman, but I'm feeling kind of femme today, so you can use she, her pronouns. Or here they. I'm pretty chill. Race guide. Yes, the shenanigans are there. Let me pop this up a little bit. Okay, well, first get this off. Thank you. Now, boop, boop. Okay, a little bit big, maybe? Oh, I see. That's just a whole... All right, let's do that. That works. Okay, cool. Let me just scoochie a little. Hi. Oh, almost lost my... Oh, there's that fudge die. There's a random fudge die sitting there. That's what happens when you have thingamabobs, is they get randomly... Oh, yes. So, you get pretty girl family today. What else? Ooh, yes. Let me do a thing real quick. Physics and philosophy are two separate disciplines that require, sure. So, okay, fun stuff. Let me go to animation, fun stuff. Ooh, statistics homework. Okay. Fun stuff. Let me do the majiggy what's it so that you can, anyway. So, for those of you who don't know, also, hi, welcome. Let me, first of all, ooh. Audio podcasts. Always fun. Okay, hang on. That's a whole thing I need to read more thoroughly later. Let me... Oh, and I never read the thingamabob with the whatchamajig. Only 5 minutes late. Oh, and you have to remind me. Everyone on stream, if you're here, you have to remind me that I have a thing at 11:30, so I'm not going to bed after the stream. I forgot last Sunday, and my group didn't play, and I felt really bad. So, so basically, what we have is Tales of Arcanum. It's shown on the screen. I do not have my eye on chat right now, so if you're saying hi in chat, hi back. I don't, no one seems to be chatting. Okay. One time I wasn't checking chat, and I got a raid, and Jay raided in, and everyone was trying to tell me, and I felt really bad. Missing raid for the first few minutes, so that's fun. Only 5 minutes late start. Boom. That was the thing. Now we go to Greyhawk. No, not that one. We're not doing Greyhawk stuff. Fun stuffs. Anyhow, we'll go to here and, promise in a minute I'll actually go. Oh, so Arcanum is basically this D&D supplement. It's a 5th edition supplement that I managed to get my hands on, and it's super cool. And it's a lore guide, okay, so it's a race guide, right? But basically it's an entire, there is a lot of lore. There's 3 pages of just, the densest freaking... At one point, they're like, oh yeah, by this way, Dracula's becoming the thing, and I'm like, whoa. Hang on, you didn't even mention vampires were a viable thing in your universe. Okay. And it's kind of fun to go through, a lot of the lore is buried. If you go to the Angel Elves, there's this whole revolution that happened. Okay, it wasn't a revolution. It was, the Angel Castiel, who got kicked out after he caused the flood, the same one as Noah. It happened in this version of reality. They take a lot from a lot of different, both history, mythology, it's a kitchen, like, there are so many sources. Like, I think they have the Faceless, which are basically run an organization called the Men in Black that wipe people's memories. And they have Evos, which are basically humans, but slightly evolved. Like mutants, and, oh yeah, they even have, like, a whole school system. It's, mimicking Professor X and his whole vibe. Wants to come hang out. Right. So anyway, so I was thinking we could start with clowns. Okay, hear me out. Clowns aren't necessarily... Well, anyway, unless anyone has any serious objection. I should have asked on the Discord earlier, but, you know... that's a thing. Sponsors and creators. You know what? I kind of want to do something with this. Like, I know it's a lot to do a single stream per week too, because there are a lot of really cool supplements, which I also don't have a whole stream a week to, which I really should, because Blancolonia is super cool. And next Friday, I want to do another Thirsty Sword Lesbians also. There just aren't enough days in the week, and there's too much cool stuff to stream. So, we're working on that. Okay, so my plan is check the... Oh, hi, Sig, you are here. Wow, Thirsty Arcane, great. I mean, okay, I am setting Thirsty Sword Lesbians in Greyhawk. So technically, on Monday, I could go and do another deep dive into Heartbeat lore. If I got my hands on the Slaver modules, which I do need to do. I need to get my hands on a copy of the Slaver modules, or at least find somebody who has a copy who can, like, and then we could, like, do piecing together all the character creation for Heartbeat. And I also need to ask Thomas about the Monster of the Week. What did he do? He added a racial feats for different like halflings and stuff, and halflings and elves and dwarves in Monster of the Week, which is really like a fun little overlay that he added. So I need to get my hands on that to add it to the Thirsty Sword Lesbians if I'm gonna set it in Greyhawk, because they're both run on Powered by the Apocalypse, and I might need to get a copy of Monster of the Week is what I need to do, because then I could get a use the combat system as more effective than this combat, or I could use the secondary dueling rules and just have them all duel? Anyway, I need to figure that out. Or have a mental physical harm split, or you can only take 5 conditions, right? How about this, right? And if you inflict a condition, the condition is either mental or physical. And I'll add some physical ones too. And then as soon as you take, and the only way to get the physical conditions lifted is to get healing support, which is like emotional support and works the same way with the 2d6, but it's based on grace, probably. We'll base it on another stat, and I mean, we could try it. We could try Brancolo. Ooh, it'd be interesting to do a side-by-side comparison. Maybe on some Saturday. Not this Saturday. This Saturday, I'm going to go... Basically, the clinic is starting... it's going to be closed on Sundays, starting next week. So, my usual days of Sunday and Wednesday aren't going to work. So, I'm going to skip this Wednesday, go Saturday. It's going to be a whole thing. But, which means having a Saturday stream is going to be a little bit of a... Doesn't mean it can't be done. It's just going to be a little tricky. I just have to check the train schedule, because I don't even know the train schedule when the trains are on Saturdays, because I always take the Express in on Sundays. The 9:50 Express works really well, because that's right after I do the thing with my newbies that I missed this week, because I was late and then they were late. There was a whole mix-up in scheduling. Anyway, sorry. Hi. Welcome to the stream. I am trying to sort out things, and I would love to stream, and I want to have enough streams to cover everything. Anyone? Okay, wait. I need to. Hopefully you weren't too traumatized by your cousin. Apparently she didn't show up, so apparently you were less traumatized, which is nice. But welcome. Oh, we got 2 viewers. I don't know who the other viewer is, but hi, welcome. Probably the bot, actually. The bot's probably always there. Cool. So I did all the thing where I went and told everybody I'm streaming. Not everyone. Ooh, fun. Alright, let me... Not on Twitch, on Twitch. There's that. Okay, cool. So, I think that's a very fair thing to do. Take a break, play Cyberpunk, vibe, enjoy it. Oh, okay, right. So I was thinking, we last time, Knisel. I should probably practice, Knisel. I should probably practice saying this guy's name because he wrote this whole thing and is actually really cool. I also love that they individually targeted the artists. No, I have to do it this way. Hang on. There we go. Now I can see chat. And in case you say something very particularly distracting and... Stuffs. Okay. Ooh. Wait, they have Planeswalker Orcs. Hang on. They have also tunes. Okay, let's go Planeswalker Orc. Let's start with Elemental... But I'm looking for Planeswalker Orcs. Because I want to... Ooh, bad news. Bad news is okay. Is it really bad news? I feel like it's horrible news. Go for it. Alright, fair. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. What is my... Ooh, male Amazon. He's kind of cute. He's kind of hot. Sorry, there's a song. I can't sing that one because it's copyrighted. Marcela Meridos. Military matriarchy. Ooh. Okay. What is the reaction? Because... Okay, actually, you know what? There's a more effective way to do it. Ooh, sorry, everything just looks really cool. Hello! You are not first time chatter, which suggests that you might have popped into a stream later, but I haven't seen you in a while, so welcome. Alright, fair. It is redeemed ahead of time, and if you come up with a topic, I owe you one. I'm going to, I will note that down. Velexion, welcome. My name is Lee, you probably know that. Share vibes tonight, femme vibe, still not a woman. He or they is fine though, I'm pretty chill about pronouns. Oh, yes. We got, this is called Tales of Arcana Race Guide. It's a 5th edition supplement. And it's been cool. I've been doing it on Sundays because it's a lot of fun. And there's a lot of lore. And I think I kind of want to see what the deal with Planeswalker Orcs is. Because Planeswalker Orcs are... It sounds vaguely... There's a tune... Well, okay, let's see if... Alright, let's go to... Alright, this is the more effective way. So let's start with 326. And go from there. And, learn about Planeswalker Orc. Okay, these are regular old orcs. Ooh, a lumberjack. Female orcs. Let's see what orcs are, deal with orcs is in this version of lore. I doubt they're gonna have the same. Orcs are warlike and eager to prove their strength, which often leads to conflict. Many regard them as brutes, though they are intensely loyal to their companions. They were created illegally by genetically engineering goblins 1,000 years ago. Ooh. Orcs are humanoids with muscular and athletic builds, naturally stronger than other races of their size. They have pointed ears and short tusks. While orcs are commonly thought to have green skin. It can also be brown, blue, crimson, black, or white. Orcs can have hair of any color, though many shave their heads to avoid distraction. Piercings, tattoos, and scarification are common among orcs. Many travel wearing or carrying with them everything they own. Orcs are proud and hate perceived weakness. Many work as laborers or mercenaries, taking every opportunity to prove their strength to others. Orcs feel connection with Zargons and Viking Ingar. Or you could just have a lot of orc bards that, no, I've heard the theme on that, being that you have a bunch of orc bards, and they all travel around together. As an orchestra, as a group. Oh, wow. Orcs are, like every other race on Elohim, have original sin in their soul, the taint of blight. The first orcs created by the Blood King's genetic experiments were not sentient and had no souls. Now extinct, these orcs acted like animals when uncontrolled. This lore, just like all narrative content in every tabletop RPG system, is optional and only provide possible story hooks for your games. Fair enough. Orcs are the shop troops of the vile Blood King during the Blood War. Hang on. Lore check. The Blood War, I think, was when they tried to kill off all mages. Was that the Blood War? I have to check, but which war? Oof. Sorry. Cute puppy. I got it. Okay. Alright, they are... It's a beast. No, there was one. Okay, never mind. There's a lot of different races. There's a lot of stuff going on. If anything looks particularly interesting, just call it out and we'll stop for briefly. Ooh, rocks. I got rock. Okay, back to the lore dump. Okay. Boom. Okay, so... okay, preface, interesting terminology, metaphysical realms. This is where it gets really, there are a lot of metaphysical realms. Godlands, heaven, essence core, the chaos smurfs. Okay, so, I don't think they're chaos smurfs. I honestly don't. So basically, Sig, I don't know if you, oh, hi, Rox. Welcome. You have the same colored name, so I got confused. I thought you were Valixion. Was just saying the thing again. So Sig made me do the thing. I have a reward if you watch the channel long enough and or are willing to send me, I think it's, what, I cannot cheer in my own channel. Fine. What is it? We agreed, 20,000, or 200, no, not 200 bits. I think it was 2,000 bits, or as a compensation, if you like to send me cash money, is always appreciated. Or you could just watch the channel a whole lot. That's cool too. I don't, and get the channel points. Basically, if you can choose a Saturday. So on Saturdays, I don't usually stream, but I have a... I don't have... Okay, fine. Any case, Sig, our friend here, has done multiple because he always comes to my streams, which I really appreciate, by the way. Don't think I don't. I appreciate you always hanging out my streams. What else? So has chosen 3 Saturday... I think it's 3. Was that one? Has chosen at least 2, because you did the KDA and the Smurf. Oh, basically just decided that I was going to do Smurfs in Greyhawk, the possibility of Smurfs in Greyhawk. So I set out, and we actually did a fair bit of, we used the Pathfinder 1st Edition race guide and advanced race guide creating, yes, because, yeah, the Smurfs and KDA, which also, by the way, is awesome, so I that's pretty cool. Okay, wait. Dinosaur Age, Chosen, the Titan War, the Ice Age. Metra summoned asteroid. No, that's the Ice Age. The other Ice Age was the early humans, the Sky War, the Fan, the Gob, the Flood. That was Cassiel, the Cataclysm, the Human Age, the Empire, the Blood War. Here we go. I knew it was here. Yes. But we did have Smurfs as they possibly existed in Greyhawk. They were Fae, though, not Chaos, if I remember correctly. Although, if Greyhawk is connected to the Warp, as all realms are, then technically you could argue that they could be corrupted by Chaos, but I really don't want Smurfs to be corrupted by Chaos. I think that would just be not a fun time for anyone. I mean, Chaos is generally not a fun time for anyone anyway. Oh! Here we go. When Abaddon goes to war, all you hear is blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull stone. She who thirsts for rape and overdose, Papa Nurgle will love you rotten, and it's just as planned when Abaddon goes to war. I mean, there are chaos. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Okay, so 1,000 years pre-Majiggy, what's it? Because I actually came, just, hang on, I think I need to do the thing. So I'm very tech savvy. Yeah, I'm very tech savvy. I made the thingamabob just to keep me from getting too distracted. It is distracting in its own right, admittedly. Oh yeah, true, Smurfs don't wear shirts. Ooh, there's a... Right, wait, we had a whole theory on Smurfs and the Smurfette principle and how that works and all sorts of things that we had. And I think that episode is still up. If it's still up, I will put it on YouTube. I've been slowly but surely putting as many of my episodes as I remember to put on YouTube, but sometimes they time out before I can get to them. So some of them do get lost forever. Well, Smurf Queen is a whole thing. She lays eggs, by the way. Smurfs are hatched. Basically, an unhatched egg can hatch into a queen if the previous queen goes missing or dies, or there's other thingamabobs. Oh yes, Blood War. Right, we were explaining this. Blood War. The non-magical human Tython McGuff, known as history's the Blood King, becomes jealous of his accomplished sorcerer mage brother Argus. Tython corrupts the Empire with the message of intolerance toward non-humans and magic users. He leads the Blood Reich and its infernal machines in a massacre across Arcana, which is the continent on the world of Genesis where this all takes place. And all the weird assorted realms that are kind of like pocket dimensions hooked into Arcana, which is a whole thing in and of itself. There's a whole... she does usually wear a dress. The Smurfette of that particular village depicted in the Smurfs. But if Smurfs are a species, then each village has its own Smurfette, has its own queen. That's how they work. They are a colony theory. So, there's a whole thing about starting new colonies, and unhatched eggs will hatch as a queen if there's not anyone else around. So basically, to start a Smurf village, you just need an unhatched egg. But that particular Smurfette wears a dress. But that's the only example we have of Smurf culture. There's only so much that can be derived from it, including whether or not that Smurf queens do tend to wear tops. I mean, they're not mammals as such, so she wouldn't need nurse access, which is... There's no question that Smurfette would even have... Don't Smurfs not have nipples? So Smurfette wouldn't have nipples either. So technically, although there might be a support element, the thing about having boobs, as you learn, is that if you don't do something with them, they tend to get sore because your back... That's why corsets were first invented, is because people had sore backs. And then they got into tight lacing and everyone was insane. But, maybe? I don't know if she'd be pantsless. It would depend on a lot of things. And we weren't supposed to be talking about Smurfs. We were supposed to be talking about the Blood War and freaking orcs and... possibly? I mean, who knows? Let's see. The non-magical human Tython McGoth, known to history as the Blood King, becomes okay, right. And then the Winter Age is when, Argus, who was this super powerful magic navigator, defeats, his brother by traveling an equinox, some of that, regulates mortal seasons and triggering a generation-long winter. that stops Tython's forces. Gods and the archangels decree that navigators can no longer gain as much power in an effort to punish him for upsetting natural order. That's gonna be a thing, isn't it? We're gonna have to put Smurfs on the freaking thing, aren't we? Okay. Alright, Winter Age, Argus. Okay, so the Blood War. Yep. Okay, so we go back to now we have to go back to the thing. Also, goblins. I feel like goblins would be okay, hang on. Then we agreed that we would clown. I kind of wanted to do clowns, but I guess we're doing orcs. So, 326, because we already started it, and I'm trying to stay on topic. Very Smurfy indeed, but I'm already. Yes. Oh, so they were genetically engineered by a human in the Blood War. To work as mercenaries. Camaraderie among goblins, ogres, and trolls, the other gobkin races. And female orcs might feel the same bond with Amazons, although there are male Amazons, therefore... never mind. Shock troops of the Vile Blood King during the Blood War. The Blood King, Tython McGuff, mercenary. Okay. Focus. Never mind. There was a Blood War. There was a whole freaking war. While under his magical... Wait a second, he was the one... The Blood King was the one who did no magics. The Blood King was the one who said F magic, no. Now, he's using magic to control the... Okay, he's a hypocrite. We've learned he's a hypocrite. Okay. Still didn't explain whether the invaders from the Sky War were from in-system or not. Afterward, they were without purpose or homeland, but were still hunted by Empire forces. The orcs lived for centuries under the threat of death until Empire Civil War, in which orcs sided with the Empire and were granted citizenship in return. No culture after the Blood War, and different tribes formed in the regions where they were free. And cultural practices developed recently as disparate tribes were unified. Orcs valued strength and honor, having to live off the land that came to venerate nature and created pantheons devoted to ancestor worship or natural deities. Separate on to the gods of war, embracing their warrior past, and shame of those who died in battle for their weakness by peeing on their graves. Ew. Wow, okay. Kinda. Yeah. Orcs have found work all over Arcana and the Empire, and far beyond their tribes. Ironwood orcs serve as druids and lumberjacks, felling and regrowing dense ironwood trees in remote groves. Others have joined Zargon Horde to embrace their warrior traditions. After thousands of orcs were slaughtered by Tareth, the wielder of Necrown, many rose as undead grave knights who broke free under the guidance of the one known only as Grak's wife. The Federation is a faction that holds territory on the Evera subcontinent of Arcana. It is an alliance comprising of human, dwarf, high elf, gnome, goblin, and orc kingdoms, all united to oppose the magical aggression of the Pact, a predominantly dark elf faction. They seek to advance their society through industrialization. Ooh, fun. Gargamel was not the Blood King. Gargamel is a completely separate entity who, granted, was a powerful wizard who waged war, cultural genocide against the Smurfs in Greyhawk, but that's a whole separate majiggy what's-it thing that we don't... Different thing. Strength score, constitution score, and other ability score of your choice increased by 1. 3 plus 1s, okay, not bad. Although orcs mature as humans do, they live a decade or so less. Orcs value honor and militaristic hierarchy in which each has a place. They are implacable in war, yet to prove themselves strong and quick to anger, but rarely cruel. Orcs are lawful neutral or lawful evil. Orcs are ubiquitous as elves and dwarves. Okay. Orcs have the build of burly humans. Your size is medium. Base walking speed, 30 feet. Dark vision, dim light within 60 feet of you as for bright light. The darkness within the same range as for dim light. Absent even dim light, this vision is monochromatic. Menacing. Proficiency and intimidation. Relentless. When An effect would put you to sleep or force you to behave in a way you would normally behave. You act normally until the end of your next turn before succumbing to the effect. So if you fail your saving throw, you still have 1 turn to do a thing. When you're reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, you drop to 1 hit point instead. You regain the use of this feature when you finish a long rest. Okay, so Gargamel hired a Tabaxi army to make drugs out of Smurf blood. You know what? I think it's just crazy enough to work. And that... Hang on. Alright, give me a sec. We're doing a thing. We're doing a thing. I'm doing it. I'm making this this is gonna be the entire Discord channel. It's just gonna be memes. It's gonna be insane. Fine. Notes. Alright. Smurf is capitalized. Nope, it doesn't work. Okay. Okay. We'll deal with that later, but I'm creating it. Yep, oh, by the way, this is a great chance to, ooh, hey, thanks for the follow, by the way. I'm gonna put the link to our Discord. Basically, we have a Discord full of memes, fun stuff, writing, like, we have a lot of really cool random stuff we post about. Basically, it's a lot of memes and, updating, telling people when I go live, and also the schedule when I remember to post it, and just some fun random discussions, and I'm adding more fun meme stuff that comes from chat, because, you know, you guys are cool, and I want to have an access to that fun stuff. So yeah, if you want to join the Discord, all you gotta do is hit the link below. It's fun, it's free, it's a nice little place to hang out. I try to put as many fun memes as I can. Ooh. Ooh, yes. I need to check this. Oh! Common Orcish version of Gob. Yes, because Gobs were genetically engineered from orcs, and they are part of the Gob faction, or the Gob court. Why don't I should probably go talk to goblins. But yeah, because of that, they have a Gob, thing. And then 1 simple or martial weapon and light armor. So you just have training with 1 weapon. Even if you, are not a class that usually gets weapons, you can get a weapon. Alright, next one, though. This is the one I was really interested in. We can barely call Arcana our home, so why do many think it's our destiny? Planeswalker orcs are peaceful and prefer to avoid conflict, though many believe them to be warlike. They value community and respect spirits of nature and their ancestors. Planeswalker orcs were able to leave Genesis, traveling to the outer moon or the astral plane, though some remain to guide other orcs to their new homelands. Planeswalker orcs would be an example of racial heritage, where the only difference between them and classic orcs is cultural. Okay, so basically there were a small group of orcs that decided, F this, we're not going to be, you know, all this stupid warlike stuff. You know, just because we were created as a warrior race doesn't mean frickin' that we have to be warlike. Okay, that makes sense. Orcs are humanoids with muscle and athletic builds, naturally stronger than other races for their size. They have pointy ears and short tusks. While orcs are commonly thought of to have brown skin, it can also be green. Ooh. So planeswalker orcs tend to be more brown-skinned, and Orcier orcs tend to be more green-skinned, but they can all have any skin color. Cool beans. Gotcha. Okay. Planeswalker orcs can have their hair any color and often style it as a means of self-expression, as opposed to their less planeswalkery cousins who generally shave it off. Okay. Piercings, tattoos, and scarifications are common. Many travel wearing or carrying with them all they own. Strive for peace and center their souls, while many becoming druids or monks. This does not mean they would not fight to the death to protect themselves or those they love. As spiritual people, they are attuned to other worldly beings such as Loa, Orcishas, and Behemoths. They came into conflict with they come into conflict with most other orc tribes because the other orc tribes are like, no, we fight. This is our vibe. Gotcha. Okay, orcs were hunted after the Blood War despite being freed of the Blood King's control. They were driven into hiding on the fringes of society for hundreds of years, which forced many to work for villainous forces. One orc tribe was conscripted in service in adherence of the Titan Metris, building machinery that was eventually used during the Hell War. Okay, that's a whole vibe. Alright, we're gonna put a pin in that. Hell War. Oh, yes, also I'm not looking at chat. Okay. Alright, I'm okay. I'm okay. So what, they like to get wet? I'm sorry. I'm okay. Focus. I will focus. Orcs are orky. Okay. That is I'm wearing that to tautology. Just, work with me here. Fortunately, they were freed by a tribe of behemoths who helped them find a new home on the astral plane, the source of their planeswalker name. They were free of the stigma of the Bloodreich and developed their own cultures and traditions. I mean, everything's better with orcs, right? Maybe. You can put anything into... Oh, well. It rains up in the mountains, right? Like, isn't Northern California basically Oregon climate? Okay. They were free from the stigma of the Bloodreich and developed their own culture and traditions, learning from the humans how to care for the land. It was an ideal home until Vithian Protectorate rose in power, threatening the whole of the plains. Planeswalker orcs fought against the warlord Margul's forces for as long as they could, but once defeat was inevitable, the remaining ones were guided to Genesis' outer moon by their behemoth allies. Still, some Planewalker orcs yet survive on the astral plane. Though Genesis has many moons, the outer moon is the farthest from the planet. However, it is a vibrant ecosystem similar to diverse biomes found on Genesis, though more wild due to millennia of exposure to cosmic radiation. The orcs who live on the outer moon are still devoted to their ancestors, seeking guidance from their fallen kin through meditation and ritual. Many believe in the shadow realm called Afterworld, where orc spirits are sent in death. Most seek guidance from Orcus, said to be one of the first free orcs. Okay. There are many orc tribes and heritage across Arcana. Frost orcs typically have bluish skin and live in mountainous regions. Blood orcs have crimson skin infused with infernal magic and devotion to Hell or the Titan Metris. Wow. Okay. So expect more fires. Gotcha. Order Pale Orcs are native of the dark below. Silver Orcs have found their way to other planets beyond the firmament. Yeah, we've talked about those. We still don't know if the Blood War people came from within the... Freaking... If life evolved on other planets inside the firmament. Or, not inside the firmament. Inside the system, rather. I mean... Probably female orcs is how it happened. And, actually... Male orcs are... That could be... I'm thinking about this way too much. Way too much. I am not... No, hang on. Dude. Also, that would only exist in Greyhawk because Smurfs are... not in Arcana. At least... Probably not. Wait, actually, we should probably check that there aren't Smurfs in Arcana because there probably are, honestly. Silver Orcs, Pink Orcs have ingested live fairy... Oh, wow. They've ingested fairies. Some orcs mutilate themselves and join the Dark Army of Mordvor, awaiting Vilgnar's return. Though skin color is one factor defining these groups of orcs, any skin can be found among any of them. Fun stuff. Okay. Planeswalker orc traits. Strength score, Constitution score, and one ability of your choice increases by 1. We established this. Planes, they mature in age as orcs do. Value honor and tradition, often deferring to these beliefs in difficult times. Lawful neutral. Alright. Rare. Unlike their green-skinned cousins, Planewalker orcs have left the populated areas of Genesis to forge their own destiny. Resemble their kin in size and weight. Size is medium. Base walking speed 30 feet. Dark vision, relentless. Same theory. Survivalist. Okay. You have the proficiency in the survival skill rather than the intimidation spell. Hey, Grom is not pink. And Grom is not going to eat Toot Toot. We've established this. We had to talk everyone out of it. Oh, yes, exactly. Not very, yes. If it's a nail smurf, that's how it happens. That's how you get half-breeds. Because otherwise, also female smurfs don't have live young. So technically it wouldn't be that painful because the female smurfs wouldn't have to... Well, it depends on if they lay their eggs fertilized or the eggs are fertilized post-laying. Which I feel like is a technical science question. Because if their eggs are fertilized post being laid, then it never requires any physical penetration at all. Whereas if it required that, it could end being very painful. Well, you just have to adjust the tip. You basically would have to just the tip it, and like just the tip. And it would still be barely. Essentially, you'd have to... There'd be a lot of technicalities involved. It wouldn't be a one-night fling, that's for sure. And then, of course, because they would lay eggs, would the egg be that much bigger? Or would the smurf hatched... Not necessarily. Because eggs are the same. Eggs like birds lay, right? Are the same as eggs that human women produce. I mean, it's the same theory. It's just whether it's fertilized internally and attached to the wall as an embryo, or whether it's shelled up and laid and then left to hatch. So technically, assuming that the genetics were good, it just needs the sperm would hit an orc egg the same way it would hit a smurf egg, but instead of being the female orc, instead of being coating the egg and then creating and laying it as like a chicken would, it would just develop as an embryo. And yeah, so male smurfs don't lay eggs. Yeah, but they produce sperm. That's the way that works. So you produce sperm and then you fertilize the egg, and then either the female smurf lays the eggs in the case where, or if it's a case of say a human woman or an orc woman, or the eggs would do the same thing that their eggs usually do, which is it gets the sperm from the source, which is usually a male, human male or female, or a human male, and or an orcish male, and combines to form the zygote, and then sticks on the inside of the uterine wall, and then grows into a baby, and then at some point becomes alive. And there's a lot of technical questions about the question of when you get the soul as a whole. That's a whole moral dilemma of interesting proportions. My point is, it eventually gets born as a baby, and once it gets born, they're a baby for sure. And then it's at that point. But my point is, once you have a fertilized, well, no, you'd have to, assuming the male smurfs do have penises, which is actually a thing. It would be similar theory of inserting under. I mean, there'd probably be a lot of fingers afterward to try to actually induce pleasure, and then it gets jammed up in there. It'd be very difficult, but but possible if they were messing around. Probably. Essentially. Male smurfs produce sperm, at least but actually most male smurfs are probably sterile, right? Hypothetically speaking, because of the way smurfs reproduce, is the papa smurf, the head leader, is whoever impregnates the queen, right? Or not impregnates, but is probably like the father of the entire village, right? So probably only like one smurf in 100 is actually fertile. Yeah, probably only one smurf in 100 is fertile. And it's probably a pheromone-based thing, too. Like, smurfs are not fertile unless they're, get infected with the right pheromones from the queen, and then she would post-hatching, especially if the smurf wanted to start their own village, they would basically steal an egg, and then she'd hatch as a queen because okay, we're getting into smurf reproduction. This is, Exactly. So, right, so the Smurfs only hatch as the village needs, so they can delay hatching indefinitely, right? So, presumably, if they were, right, but, um, they're still, you know, yeah, so if Smurfs are, which means that male Smurfs are probably, a lot of them are sterile. Uh, Naturally. I mean, the head Smurfs probably not, and there's probably a whole thing with that. But that might be a cultural thing, though, more than an actual physical, biological thing. It might be a more cultural thing, like really good birth control forms. If that were the case, then if it were a cultural thing, then the orc would just have to get around whatever cultural traditions were keeping the queen Smurf from having any more eggs, usually by force, although not always, and that would then lead to having the Smurf orc hybrids. On that side. On the other side, a male Smurf would just have to try experimenting and with the female and maybe not be sterile. I mean, uh-huh. Okay. Sorry, we're shutting this off. Okay, hang on. I need to get my notes. Yeah. I mean, they'd probably hatch in the village and just be like the big one in the village, and everyone would be like, and everyone would just be freaking, absolutely would be like, they'd be like the one big orc in the, like one giant Smurf that's 10 times taller than any of the others, and everyone's just like halfling sized at most, at the smallest, and would just be like super tall, and everyone would just be like, okay, and it'd be a whole thing. Right, but we are getting. I mean, that's true. It would be death by. Yeah, no, I mean, women can rape, and yeah, they would probably just take the orc and do what they needed to do, and then leave them to maybe die, depending on if they were being merciful or exactly. That's a terrifying thought. Okay. These guys that wouldn't do that, hopefully. Okay. Speak, read, and write common and gob. Probably the orcish version of gob, I'm guessing. If you travel to the outer moons, you speak, read, and write alien, and you travel to astral planes, you speak, read, and write astral. Okay. What are origami? Oh, okay, they're origami people. Okay, let's leave them there then. What I want to check out something on is goblins. We're gonna get a little bit more of the history of the gob and why they were chosen as things, and then we'll go from there. Evo, ogre, oni, GG, gob. Golems. All right, let's go start with 194. We'll start with goblins and go from there, because this is where orcs came from. Well, let's see what goblins. Humans could grow other numbers. Humans could grow numbers if they weren't as picky about what they eat. There are plenty enough tasty worms and bugs ready for munching. Skitterskags of Barton Burrow. Goblins are scatterbrained but highly social creatures, often considered pests due to their love of pranks and mischief making. Despite their reputation, many are highly intelligent. Like gnomes and furbolgs, goblins invent unique devices that often malfunction or explode. Wait, furbolgs? Freaking furbolg! You can't make furbolgs tinkerers. Well, okay, let's see what it says on this. And because I think goblins are less goblin-y than you might think. Goblins are humanoids with pointed ears, green skin, and sharp teeth. They are between 3 and 4 feet tall, have thin, wiry frames. They are quick and agile, able to scale heights with ease. Most weigh only a few dozen pounds. Their hair can be any color and is often worn in outlandish fashions, except for the bald ones, apparently. Ooh, cool. Interesting. Okay. Goblins value creative expression, so they make their clothing stand out. They might wear multiple types of the same item or fashion non-clothing items into accessories. Goblins following similar naming conventions to gnomes or furbolgs. Damien Malametti. Okay, and at least they, tried with the goblins. I feel like with the fairy they just didn't. Kinda. Okay, anyway. Gnomes. Alright, wait. Gnomes. Okay. Yeah. Are known for being eccentric and excitable folk who love a good joke. They can be cowardly but take extreme risks to test their theories. Goblins get along well with other science-minded races, as well as gob species such as orcs, ogres, trolls, and gargoyles. Fae species especially seely revile goblins. Yes! Alright, goblins can be fashionable. Though many goblins are citizens of the Empire, some operate independent city-states across Arcana. They loosely allied trade gangs dominate the criminal underworld in the regions. These loosely allied trade gangs dominate the criminal underworld in their regions. Notable cities are Ratchastan in Avernus subcontinent, Bombay in Eternal Ocean, and Frostgear in the Frozen North. Goblins also established several different societies on the Gobstils that value magic over technology. Gobiles. Goblisals? In the Empire, goblins control the mobile city Ingobaggio in the Venisi province. Two notable goblin-run companies are Goblin Dynamics, which develops wacky tech, and Darkstone Tectonic, which sends goblin miners to dangerous environments. Goblins have eclectic pantheons, often worshipping deities of non-goblin faiths if they look cool. Notable goblins' deities are Stygiuyo, the god of poisons, Rumpelstiltskin, the god of trickery, and Serta, the goddess of debt. The invaders' arrival on Genesis caused the Sky War. Right, we knew this. The invaders, they never specified whether the invaders came from in-system or out-of-system, because they only put the firmament around Genesis, right? Which means that they are either super biased toward Genesis, if there were other species on outer planets, which we established there are because they have their own thing, or they're freaking useless. The angels are basically freaking useless at that. Or the invaders came within the system. We never got a firm answer on that as to why the freaking... never mind. Although invaders had developed beyond the concept of religion, they were followed by their pantheon, the Fae and the Gob. Unlike cosmologies based on good and evil, Fae, lawful beautiful, opposed to Gob, chaotic ugly. Both these pantheons sired new mortal races, with Gob creating goblins, among others. Interesting. So... Goblin traits. No, they're chaotic gremlin. Your intelligence score increases by 2, and your dexterity score increases by 1. Well, yeah, if you got your intelligence score by 2, they're crafty little bastards. That's why they have their own written language. There's variants. Variants. I want variants. Okay. Goblins age much like humans do, but rarely live more than 60 years. Alignment. Although greedier and at times meaner, goblins have been compared to gnomes for their personality traits the two species share. These include curiosity, enthusiasm, and a love of humor. Goblins have also a mercantile code that encourages them to seek payment for what they do, making the best deal possible. Most goblins are neutral with some lawful tendencies. Alright. Rarity. Common. The mercantile and adventurous goblins are seen regularly. Goblins are 3 to 4 feet tall, and often being thin, weigh 40 pounds. Size is small. Base walking speed, 25 feet. Stubby little legs. Dark vision. See in dim light within 60 feet as if it were bright light, and darkness within the same range as for dim light. Absent even dim light. Vision is monochromatic. We agreed on that. Goblin inspiration. Ooh, this is unique. When you use an inspiration die to grant yourself advantage and fail, you can reroll 1d20 and take that result. Ooh. They get extra bonuses for inspiration. I mean, probably. Yeah, no, these are definitely not based on Greyhawk, Goblin, or Glorion Goblins are a little more closer to this. Goblin training. You have proficiency in stealth skill as well as one set of artisan tools and one game. Nimble escape. You can use a bonus action to take the disengage or hide action. Goblins place high value on winning negotiations. So they learn to do so from an early age. You have proficiency with 2 skills from among deception, insight, and persuasion. Tinker's Lore. You add your proficiency bonus to any intelligence, history and investigation, wisdom, perception, checks, when spotting or identify alchemical items, magic items, technology, and usual devices, including traps. If you have proficiency in the aforementioned skills, your proficiency bonus is doubled for these purposes, meaning you are expertise leveled. Common and Gob. Goblins often learn to speak Gnomish and Technobabble as well. I feel like we need to read in on gnomes to get the full scale of this. Ooh, there's Gariant, so. You can choose to play a variant species with the following changes. Gill Goblin. You have webbed hands and feet as well as gills. Instead of the normal Goblin ability score adjustments, your intelligence score and your dexterity score each increase by 1, and you gain the amphibious trait from the merfolk race in this book. You have swimming speed of 25 feet. You can also speak aquatic. Gill Goblins are rare and often chaotic neutral. Hobgoblin. You are a large, muscular, dim-witted goblin with black, gray, or tan skin. Hobgoblins are brutish thugs, often serving as mercenaries or terrorizing commoners. Your size is medium. Instead of the normal goblin, ability score increases. Your strength and constitution score each increase by 1, and have the mighty trait from Krampus race in this book. Proficiency in the stealth skill. You read, speak, write, common, goblin, guttural. Hobgoblins are uncommon and often chaotic evil. Alright. Ooh, that's an interesting take on a gnome. Lila Alvarez. Alright, we're gonna do gnomes, and then I have to... Gnomes take great pride in their inventions, often designing less efficient machines if they can imbue them with a sense of personal artistry. Unfortunately, this means many of their devices end up being a tad unpredictable. Dobgoblins. Oh, Dob... Action... Sorry. There's actually a really good example of that in Critical Role, where the wizard Yusa had a goblin butler who was actually incredibly useful. A little bit cowardice and kind of dumb when it came to, like, you know, making things happen. I know you're referencing turf pitch's work, but it's a better example, I think, Matt Mercer's. So, you know. And he's cooler in general. Gnomes take great pride in their... Oh, yes. Gnomes make up in intellect what they lack in height, making sure they are both seen and heard. They are light-hearted folk who many see as tricksters. While humans dominate the globe, the most significant magical and technological breakthroughs have been made by gnomes. For their methods border on madness, gnomes make great companions, devoted to a fault to their friends and families. Gnomes look like oversized human toddlers, most span between 3 and 4 feet tall, but some are closer to 2 feet, though their arms and legs are short in proportion to other humanoid races. They're capable of moving and reacting just as well. Gnomes have the same skin and hair colors found among human population, although they can have brightly colored hair in natural pink, blue, or green. Bright hair helps alert larger races to gnomes' presence. They are not trampled. Gnomes have whimsical names such as Sarah Bellwhistle, Sowlin Microspanner, or Garen Wismajig. Gnomes are eager to please their companions and are willing to help, even in situations they aren't qualified to handle. They love to laugh and have bubbly personalities, though they can be offended and grow bitter when others don't see things their way. Gnomes enjoy working with goblins and furbolgs. Furbolgs! That's what! They're not furbolgs, they're furbolgs. Okay. Completely different vibe. Okay. Sorry, I thought they made furbolgs tech. I was like, no, that's not how that works. And they're like, okay. Nope. Okay. Fellow gadgeteer races, but they also value spending time with construct and mechanical beings. Gadgets and gears. Nobody knows where gnomes come from. They never share details with outsiders. Some say gnomes hatch from eggs, while others whisper about the fabled baby minds of Gon. Regardless, gnomes have odd traits. They sleep standing up and enter a state of madness when they eat sugar. Ooh, they get... Brunhild is not going to kill Cyrus. Cyrus, for those of you not in the know, is a gnome PC in our game, in which Sig plays Brunhild the dwarf and has a beef with Cyrus. Amethyst, who Cyrus has beef with, is also has this huge crush on Brunhild and is going to stop Brunhild from killing Cyrus. Despite everything, because, you know. You don't just go killing your allies. It's a bad form and just not a good idea. Gnomes are found in human cities, often working as apprentices for engineers and wizards. Several gnome cities also exist, such as the Free Island, Gir Nanog, and Ungnome, found in Empire's Farkana province. Gnomes are known as Nis where pointed hats and tails, and hail from Gnome Land, where Sharak's desert is home and robed roboticist nomads. Okay. Yeah, but then you're not carrying but then you. Yeah, so then Brunhild is just carrying Amethyst around, which, Amethyst is not gonna say no to. Like, hey, nice little bonus. And Brunhild then has to... Yeah, they sleep standing up, apparently. I wonder if they make, like, beds that are, like, fluff booths to get, like, somewhere comfy to lean against. That's a thought. I bet that's a thing. And then if you stay over with your gnome friend, you're stuck using it as a, like, leaning up against, like, sitting up, leaning against it, the fluff booth, because its edge is way too small because it's designed for gnome sized. They might like bigger ones that are more, or like sofas are a thing. Anyway, if you have friends over who need to sleep lying down. Intelligence score increases by 2, charisma score increases by 1. Girna Nog, and Ungnome. Age. Gnome remain children, a gnome remains a child until their 30s, then become an adult overnight. Gnomes can live up to 3 centuries. Wow. Puberty, like, okay, that works. Gnomes are creative, curious, and gregarious. They are likely good. Gnome's mind is too individual to ascribe a general ethical outlook, but those with ordered thinking tend toward law, while those with more adaptability tend toward chaos. Comment. Gnomes can be found the world over. Yeah, but I bet they'd build, like, specific, really cushy places to lean, because that's what you do. When you sleep lying down, you build something soft to lay on. If you sleep standing up, you build something soft to lean on, I would imagine. Base walking speed is 25 feet. You can see in dim light, dark vision. 30 feet of view is for bright light, and darkness within the same range is for dim light. Absent even dim light, vision monochromatic. Proficiency with artisan's tools, tinkerer tools, and one other set of tools. Using the tinkerer's tools, you can spend 1 hour on material worth 10 gold pieces to construct a tiny clockwork device. AC of 5, 1 HP. Oh yeah, I remember, because I used this. This is a similar ability given to gnomes in more traditional 5e settings, like Forgotten Realms, essentially. And so I used that along with my artificer's ability to make a magical clockwork training dummy for a party member. And then Eli was did something dumb and got yeeted into the future and is no more, essentially. At least for all intents and purposes. The device functions for 24 hours, but you can spend 1 hour repairing it and extend its life for 24 hours. Whether or not it's functional, you can dismantle the device to reclaim its materials. When you create the device that has one of the following functions or a similar function, the story master approves of. Activating any of these devices requires the use of your action. A lighter. The device produces a miniature flame, which sheds light like a candle. It can be used to light a candle, torch, or fire. The lighter remains lit while you hold it in your hand and keep it lit. It goes out when you want it to or when you're no longer holding it and able to take actions. Basically, you have to keep it squeezed, and if you let it up, it stops. Noisemaker. When activated, this device makes noise or plays a tune at a moderate volume. It might create other minor effects, such as sparking or moving a figure attached to it. Once activated, the noisemaker works for 1 minute, finishing at the end of one of your turns, unless you want to use your action to extend the duration. Toy. When placed on the ground, this toy moves 5 feet in a random direction each of your turns, unless you use your action to face in a particular direction. It might create noise or other minor effects, such as sparks, colored gas, with no game effect. Toy moves on its own for 1 minute, unless you use your action to extend the duration. So basically, I used the toy model, or something similar, and then attached the training dummy to the top of it, so it just kind of moved in random directions, and you could, like, smack at it, and as long as you stayed smacking at the top part and didn't hurt the kegs on the bottom, and then I was like, well, I could fix it anyway. Except then Eli's dead, so now you can't fix it, but, you know. You add your proficiency bonus to any intelligence, history, and investigation, or wisdom perception check when spotting and identifying alchemical items, magic items, technology, and unusual devices, including traps. If you have proficiency bonus in the aforementioned skills, your proficiency bonus is doubled for these purposes. Language. Speak, read, and write Common and Gnomish. A good number of gnomes also learn Technobabble. Ooh, variants. Modified gnome species with the following changes. A mechanical gnome. You are a clockwork gnome or have extensive clockwork modifications. Clockwork cyborg gnomes. Okay, clockwork cyborg gnomes. I am so down for this. Your charisma score does not increase, and you have the lightning sensitivity and living conduit traits from the robot race in this book. You also have the tool integration trait from the robot race, but your tools must be artisan's tools, tinkerer tools. So you can't integrate other tools. Should you become shape-shifted, such as the druid's class ability, you are a mechanized version of that form and retain the lightning sensitivity and living conduit traits in addition to other traits or types that form would grant. Mechanical gnomes are rare and often neutral. Yo, go! They make, like, freaking clockwork cyborg gnomes. Okay, sorry. It's just really cool, okay? I mean, possibly they're a lot of these stuff is highly derivative. It's just put together differently, essentially. I mean, they ripped the planet names right out of the Bible. They changed the faceless from Men in Black. They took Evo was just basically X-Men with the serial numbers filed off. I mean, a lot of this stuff is derivative from other stuff. Goblins. Ooh, golems. Oh, yeah. Okay. Should we go to? Let's go to golems. Let's. Okay, hang on. Actually, I'm gonna go up for a little bit. Gnomes. Gnolls. Okay. I'm good. Ooh, I do not. Then we got the giants. Ghost. That's fine. Oh, then we Gemini. We went up. Then there's gargoyles. These ones the Furbold. If we stay out of sight, then we'll be free of oversight. Widget, a Furbold warlock. Okay. Furbolds are small and scrappy mammalian humanoids whose culture centers around feats of engineering. Even when experiments result in explosion or failure, Furbolds are quick to pick themselves up and move on to the next test. Furbolds are found throughout Arcana and are known for their resolve and drive. Unfortunately, that same passion for result at any cost can send Furbolgs down a dark path to megalomania. Ooh, she's cute. Peter Lumby. Yeah, ooh. Alright, good to know. Furbolgs are gnome-sized between... sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the time. I'm thinking I'll keep streaming for as long as you guys want, or until I get tired. I have to leave at 11:30, worst case scenario, because I have a game. And I'm going to remember this game. I need you guys to remind me, because if I don't do the thing, I'll forget. And then I'll be the same thing I did last Sunday, which is I didn't show up and they didn't hold the game and I felt really bad. So I'm not gonna do that again. Gnome size, between 3 and 4 feet tall, and typically between 50 and 60 pounds. They have a million faces resembling a mix of Wolverine and hamster. I mean, kind of. I kind of see it, but like, capable of human expression. They have thin limbs and large heads with high-pitched voices, although some can be deeper. As their name suggests, they're covered in fur and with all manner of colors and patterns. Furbolgs have clawed feet and hands, as well as sharp fangs, to protect themselves. They wear the fashion of the local culture if they think of clothing at all. Furbolgs have names similar to those of gnomes and goblins, with names like Gearshift or Cogwater. Furbolgs are energetic and independent, but devoted companions when adventuring. They are willing to put themselves in the way of danger, even when they don't need to. Furbolgs make fast friends with taller races, eager to sit on their shoulders. Yeah. Sorry. I'm thinking Scanlan and Grog, or Eli and Atlan, which is another gnomish Goliath pairing that ended too soon, because they totally were going to be, it was going to be like, they were going to be cutesy boyfriends, and then Eli got yeeted into the future, and Eli even asked, like, Alan out on a date, but then he was all awkward about it because he realized it was a date, and it was feels, okay? And like, they never got a chance to thing. Okay. They They have reservations about working with other innovative races such as Yanzas, gnomes, and goblins, though they can eventually work through their competitiveness. Okay, I don't know what Yanzas are. Trial and many errors. Furbolgs are a common race across the Empire and wider Arcana, often in areas with advanced technology. Though they utilize magic, Furbolgs believe it to be cheating and prefer to achieve greatness with their own two hands. Furbold tech, which they call Rachnology, is volatile and dangerous. Many Furbolgs have relocated to the city of Holbroken in the Empire's Daimir province. This is a chaotic steampunk city where scientists of all disciplines perform dangerous experiments with machines and chemicals, even in back alleys and on street corners. A waiver must be signed to enter the city limits. Oh, wow. Okay. I kind of want to make this city happen. Okay. Here, this is why I love this thing. Like, they have these little snippets that you find reading through all of this, and you're like, oh, wow, that's a thing. Okay. And you're... This is why I really like Arcana lore and why I'm doing a stream a week on it for now. It's just like, you know? Sapper tradition of arming with various explosives to use in combat and adventuring. Holbroken is also where the mechanic class originated, where a pilot, typically small size, maintains and operates a mech, typically medium-sized. Furbolgs have created many types of non-sentient mechanical beings, originally intended for transportation and laboratory assistance, but now weaponized by other races. Though they are a wildkin race, they do not seem to come from a particular animal, leaving many to speculate that they were created by god or gods. Furbold have unique pantheon of hundreds of gods, generally explosive machines and fuel sources. It is postulated that many were actually notable Furbold adventurers or inventors, but they were accounts of Furbold gods taking part in the god wars. The best known religious sect is the Sunfarder Paladins. I'm sorry. It's hard to take them seriously. Okay, Sunfarder Paladins, who have taught themselves to fart the light of the supreme Furbold god Skrin, the protect power for artifacts. Most Furbolds fear the god Eddie, the personification of failed experiments and chaos of unknown science. I'm sorry. Two of the most infamous tech cities are Glassglow and the Bellows. Each was once the same city with the surface and a subterranean district. Glassglow, the surface, relied on the heat and water from Bellows, subterranean, just as the Bellows relied on food and financing of Glassglow. However, as time went on and both cities innovated, they no longer depended on the other. Glassglow thrived with magic technological breakthroughs, while the Bellows made progress with industrial steam-based technology, as well as contraptions created by Furbold inventors. The cities have maintained a tenuous peace, each content to ignore the other, though both claim incursions of criminal elements from the other on their territories, bringing them closer in conflict. Sorry, this is fun, right? If you guys don't like Arcana lore, we can stop doing the Sunday streams on it, but it's so much fun. They just have all this crazy shenanigans that go on, and it's just like, aw, this is, you know? I want to get my feet in it. See what's what. Alright. Intelligence score increases by 2. Dex score increases by 1. Mature around the age of 10 and typically live under 60 years, though historical records claim some to have lived to 100 years. Alignment. Furbolds are driven by curiosity and thirst for power, typically through academic or mechanical pursuits. They are mostly neutral. Those who recklessly pursue making names for themselves, putting their own safety at risk, are chaotic. Furbolds are fairly common, are as widespread as gnomes and goblins, often seeking out centers of magical or industrial advancement. Stand between 3 and 4 feet tall. They're typically 50 to 60 pounds. Your size is small. Base walking speed 30 feet. Ooh, they're fast for small. They make up for the stubby little legs. Bite. You have fangs, and so do your... so your unarmed strikes can deal 1d3 piercing damage. Your bite has the light and finesse weapon properties, and you have proficiency with it. Ooh, fun. So you can get sneak attack with a bite, basically. As you can sneak up on someone and bite them from behind. Because it has light and finesse property. Elusive. You can move through the space of any creature that is larger than you. Also, you can attempt to hide even when obscured only by a creature larger than you. I think I want to say either halflings or goblins in 5th edition have this trait as well. More traditional 5th edition. This is obviously 5th edition compatible. It's just, ooh, I wonder what they say on halflings. Alright, we're doing that next. You have proficiency in the perception skill and one set of tools chosen from among artisan's tools, tinker tools, carpenter's tools, or smith's tools. You add your proficiency bonus to any intelligence, history, investigation, and wisdom perception check regarding technology and unusual devices, including traps. If you have proficiency in the aforementioned skills, you double your proficiency bonus for these purposes. So it doesn't include magic-y stuff, but it's basically the same theory. Read, speak, and write common and wild kid. Okay. This is Frankenstein. Corpses stitched together into undead beings animated with science instead of magic. They bear the name of their creator, the controversial Victor Frankenstein, who developed the technique to reanimate dead cells using chemicals and lightning. Frankensteins have unique personalities, usually intelligent and philosophical. They often have great fear of fire. Since they're made from human body parts, Frankensteins have the same average height and weight as humans. The preservation process. Okay, I lied about the halfling thing. We're going. This is interesting. GH. Okay, we're gonna have to go back down to get to H. But let's see. Has left their body parts in better condition than those traditionally necromantically animated zombies. They're pale, covered in stitches and bolts to hold their parts together. Frankensteins try to find similar body parts when creating new kin, but use what is available, so some have mismatched pieces. Frankensteins have unique personalities that diverge from any trait or memories of their donor parts, including their brains. They're devoted to the scientific method, with most being analytical and seemingly motionless. Frankensteins face hostility from living races, notably humans, and often work with races deemed monstrous by society. They have an affinity for other science-minded races, such as Zanari and Yanzas. Okay, the second mention of Yanza, we should figure out how to... I mean, it's okay going through stylistically, right? Conducted this experiment centuries ago. After several failed attempts, he perfected the process of reanimation, but was run out of the Empire for his practices. Living in exile, Victor founded Gothica in the dark Sylvanian forest, and there taught his process to his first subjects. When he passed, Frankenstein established the Gothican Alliance, inviting other marginalized monster races into their nation. Probably orcs as well, probably, I'm guessing, is part of that. Today, Frankensteins mostly live in the Gothican lands. They are few in number, while most holding positions of authority within the Alliance's government. Some travel outside the Alliance territory to seek out new citizens or investigate new scientific breakthroughs. Elder Frankensteins plan for the return of the Vampire Dracula, who once tried to overthrow the Alliance for his own sinister plans. Ooh, interesting. We got some drama. The Gothican Alliance was a nation formed by a union of often feared species. The founding Frankensteins have welcomed lagunas, lichens, mummies, vampires, and zombies into their populace. A fair number of ghosts and humans are also Gothican citizens. Their capital is the castle city Gothica. Using waygates, the Alliance is able to maintain territory across Arcana. Their partners also control the sunken bayou cities of lagunas, hunting grounds of lichens, desert cities of Kazira belonging to the mummies, and several vampire-run human villages. Though they are nowhere near as powerful as other nations such as the Empire, Dominion, Federation, or the Pact, the Alliance is proving to be a power. Sorry. They just chose every... I mean, it makes sense given how countries work, but still. Strength score increases by 2 and your intelligence score increases by 1. Only adult brains and bodies are used to create functioning Frankenstein, who are ageless. Unlike those that created them, Frankensteins have come to embrace lawful society. Many serve as leaders in the undead and monstrous races that other mortal races shun and are lawful good. Uncommon. That is possibly a thing. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if there were. Honestly. Human in life. Frankensteins share their height and weight, though they may weigh 30 or 40 pounds more than they appear. Size is medium. 30 feet. Walking speed. You're resistant to lightning damage. When you take lightning damage, you can expend hate dice to heal as if you had finished a short rest. The minimum number of hit points you can regain from each die equals twice your constitution bonus, or 2, whichever is more. Living corpse. You are a humanoid, but your undead nature gives you the following traits. Immune to disease. resistance to poison damage, and proficiency on saving throws against being poisoned. If your proficiency in such a saving throw, your proficiency bonus is doubled against being poisoned. Do not need to eat, drink, or breathe. Although you can be healed as if you're a humanoid, the Raise Dead spell works on you, returning you to life as a Frankenstein. And the Raise Dead spell works on you. You are otherwise considered to be undead whenever it is detrimental for you. Mighty. Calculate your carrying capacity and the weight you can drag, push, and lift as if you were large. Aversion to fire. You recoil from fire. If you take fire damage, you have disadvantage on the attack rolls and ability checks until the end of your next turn. Scientific legacy. You have proficiency in one intelligence-based skill and one tool. Slam. Your unarmed attacks can deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage. These strikes have the light weapon property and you have proficiency with them, which means you can sneak attack with them. I think. I think it has to have the finesse property to be sneak attack. You speak, read, and write Common and Shadow Tongue. Those of an academic background can also speak, read, and write Arcana. Pretty cool. Okay, hang on. Why were we going up? Okay, hang on. Floor. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go down for a little bit. Let's see. These are gargoyles. We got Gemini, which we already went over. Ghosts. Ooh. Inexplicably return to the mortal plane. Giant. And you can work with your DM to create. Gibberim. This is sorry, this is kind of fun one. It looks cool, okay? But they're like... Okay, Miguel Rigodon Harkness. They're just cool, okay? With so many races yet to be... yeah, they have 4 arms. Okay. With so many races yet to be... yet undiscovered, we found it prudent to add an other option for government forms. Ilbo Thuris, Empire Tax Collection Agency. Oh, tax collectors. Yeah, that's the thing. That's how they got Al Capone. They chased the tax records and realized that, well, they can't prove he did anything illegal, but he had money and he didn't pay taxes on it, so that's illegal in and of itself. Oh, come on. They've had that since Tabaxis. Tabaxis have been a thing since, freaking ages ago. And furbolgs. Furbolgas, not furbolgs. Also furbolgs, but, you know. Gibberim are a celestial race of deer-like humanoids with 4 arms and antlers that terminate in hands. They are made of flesh stone, a marble-like substance that is hard as rock but feels like skin to the touch. Look like anthropomorphized deer with athletic human frames. Each has 4 arms and antlers that end with human hands. Their deer-like heads have human faces, and their mouths and eyes move together when they look around or speak. Oh, shoot. So they got 2 sets of eyes and 2 sets of faces that, like, move in... Okay, fine, but they, you know... We once played with a tabaxi named Bird. It was basically a cat, because tabaxis are basically cat people. And they, there was a cat named Bird, and a bird, and an Aarakocra, meaning a bird person, who had another name. Ooh. Their flesh-tone bodies can be sculpted with tattoos. They present themselves with poising grace, wearing the finest clothes when able. And yet you throw them topless. Okay. Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, it's definitely high quality, but I feel like if you're gonna do elegance and poise, you'd wear a bra. I mean, if you have an extra set of arms, it would be kind of handy, because, especially if you have to go upstairs and you don't feel like putting a bra on, it actually helps to hold your boobs if you're going upstairs and you don't have a bra, But if you have two stance, you can carry stuff and hold your boobs. That is like primo, you know? A nice use for an extra set of arms. Okay. Flesh-stone bodies can be sculpted with tattoos, present themselves with poison grace, finest clothes available. They have haunting voices, beautiful but filled with longing and pain. Ooh. Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. We're good. I'm okay. Are peaceful. Gibberim are peaceful and strive to end conflict whenever it arises, even if they feel differently about the situation. They prefer to be neutral and resent those who put them at odds with another. Despite their appearances, they have no connection to the Manos. Ooh, okay. Gibberim were first intended as a race that traveled higher planes and helped solve conflicts between various otherworldly powers, such as fairy courts and the elemental primals. There was some lore about the creation of flesh stone and using the art of soulfuge to manipulate the will, which might describe this race in the future material. However, this and other ideas developed for the race never really clicked. As you can probably tell, the design of these characters came first. Weird, otherworldly creatures with a beautiful body and horror. When this book was first conceived, the idea was to omit lore and other details to allow players to create their own settings, but feedback about some of the weirder races made it apparent that a context was necessary. And just cool, okay? I'm glad they liked I like the lore. Sorry. The Gibberim presented an odd dilemma since the race was made to look bizarre without an explanation, but suddenly needed one, even though it destroyed its uniqueness. Should you choose to play with Gibberim as a story master or player, you are encouraged to develop this race based on what you think they could or should be. How would the setting change with their inclusion? Are they another mortal race, or perhaps harbingers for the inscrutable Azor Queen? They could be the elves of your world, living in ancient forest cities, or the dwarves who mine with all of the extra hands. Maybe they're not playable characters, but gods of your world holding up their own with their many-handed antlers. The story you tell will be far better than any lore world building this guide could provide. I mean, fair. I'm sorry. Ability score increase, wisdom by 2 and dex by 1. Alright. Physically mature after 120 years and are ageless. Gibberim seek alleviate hostilities between powerful political and magical forces. They put the needs of the natural order above their own desires and strive to reach a compromise, even if the outcome is detrimental to their own goals. Most Gibberim are neutral good. Unknown. Few know of the Gibberim. Few gods and fey courts utilize their services. Stand 7 feet tall and weigh over 360 pounds. Size is medium. So they're one of those ones that they're too cowardly to call large. Although, they aren't too cowardly to call large. They just don't. Yeah. Base walking speed's 30 feet. 4 arms. You have 4 arms and hands and can hold a corresponding number of items at the ready. Although these extra limbs allow you to wield more weapons, they don't allow you to make more attacks than you might while wielding only 2 weapons. Handlers. The 3 tines that make up your antlers each end in a hand, giving you 6 extra hands. Each of these can hold objects that fit in one hand, such as a torch, but they can't manipulate objects or use tools like normal hands. You can pass an object held in one of these hands to one of your 4 normal hands, or vice versa, as your free interaction with an object during your turn. Your antler hands can perform somatic spell components. Oh, wow, okay. I mean, I had a tiefling character, and I let her, do somatic components with her tail for certain spells. So, you know, that's a vibe. Heritage Celestial. You are a humanoid, but you are considered to be a Celestial whenever it is detrimental to you. Of course you are. Stone-like. At first level, your hit point maximum increases by 1 and increases by 1 every time you gain a level thereafter. 1 extra hit point per level is nothing to sneeze at. You speak, read, and write Common and Celestial. You also know how to sign. Some Gibberim learn to speak, read, and write Elemental or Fey. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, let me go a little further up. Ooh. Oh, these are giants. Oh, that's an interesting looking female giant. I gave her reasonably proportioned boobs, too. Damien Memoletti. I like it. Ghosts. Alright, we're going a little up. Gemini. That's gargoyles. Firbolgs. Frankenstein. You could. I would imagine it takes, a lot of, like, it would be very difficult for even someone who's fluent in sign language and perfectly capable of speaking to have a spoken conversation that was radically different from a signed conversation because you would basically speaking, you have to maintain two completely separate streams of thought. So there would be lag as you tried to get your hands to coordinate different things, and you'd probably sign something that you were meant to say with your mouth, or say something that you were signing, so you'd mix up the conversations, I feel like. And even if you could do that, I doubt anyone could do more than 2 or 3 more, you know what I mean? Like, you could probably only maintain 3 at most. With your brain, brain processing power is the big one with that. It's not just the mouth. Fictional. Ooh. Wow. Oh, yeah, we got these flatulent. Then we got fairies. Fey dragon. Fangels. We got fables and... Oh, the faceless. We live in the shadows, leave no trace, and keep which is unknown from the citizens of this world. Oath of the Men in Black. Alright. Bye. Have fun. Ooh, wow, it's already 10 o'clock. Okay. That's cool. I mastered... Let me see what halflings... Evolutionary, Evos, we got... Elfkin, elves, basically Eve. Alright, we're going past all the elves. The regular elves, the high elves, the wind elementals, water elementals, ice elementals, fire elementals, earth elementals. We got Edomon. Wow, okay, that's meta. Not to confuse with the Eidolons. We got Ifrits, which are different than fire elementals, and dwarves, dark and regular. We got dummies. Doulahan. That's a whole... Okay. Proof dragon, draconics. Let's see. Jinn. We got divas. Friends Felmador. Okay. Okay, that basically ignores the property of drag kings, but we'll get to there. Digigod. We soon found out after hundreds of tests that what we thought were glitches were actually beings from another realm trying to communicate with us. Though it was troubling that their first message was bow down. Deities native to cyberspace. Devilkin. We got pit devils. We got pine devils. Through witchcraft. They're not beings of hell. They draw from several devil lineages for their infernal power. Interesting. Devils are evil incarnate. We got demons. We got demi-dragons. We got Daywraith. Daemon. Rarely from dragons. Okay. Well, I mean, to be fair, in 5th edition, it's also rarely from dragons. The only reason draconic sorcerers are so common is because that's the one included in the starter pack, so it's easier to get the bloodline to work on D&D Beyond. That is entirely why proportionally so many sorcerer characters use draconic bloodline. Also, freaking bards and dragons. Anyway. Cyclops. No, wait, hang on. Did we not have... I missed it. I missed the thing. Hang on. H, G, Steve, G, H. Oh, okay. Hang on. I mixed up my alphabet. Imaginary friend. Okay, hang on. I mixed up my alphabet. Evos. Yeah, H comes after G, and they do not have halflings. I mean, they have elves and dwarves. They should probably put halfling. Freaking. Hold him. Okay, let's. What the heck are those? Okay, let's go to. All right, let's go to the. Hoyhimen. Let's see if they have a pronunciation guide. Hoyhimen. Oh, they're horse people. Okay. If we continue to consort with these yahoos, soon we'll be saying, there goes the neighborhood. Master, Runderfold, Hoyhimen politician. Humans are sentient, long-lived horses that see themselves as superior to other races. They have lived in an isolated island kingdom for thousands of years, only now venturing into the world. Although they can be arrogant as they encounter new races, Hoyhimen worldview has begun to change. Ooh. She's a good-looking mare. What about her male? Ooh. Interesting. Are the same size, shape, and weight as an average horse. They look like any breed of horse with varying coat coloration and patterning. They wear clothing that is designed for their bodies, since nudity is a taboo in their culture. Their voices sound human, although their lips might not move exactly in time with their speech. Hoyhimen can be kind and compassionate with other Hoyhimen, but are arrogant toward and dismissive of other races. They are particularly disdain for humans, elves, dwarves, who resemble the Yahoo species they use for farm labor. Sea centaurs and cernuons as grotesque monstrosities. All right. We'll get to that. They might have different attitude toward those they adventure with, but their companions can have to apologize for their rude comments. The Nays have it. Hoyhimen live on a small island of the same name. Hoyhimen, their society has persisted for thousands of years, developed alongside Elvish, Dwarvish, Troll, Ogre, and Fey kingdoms as they rose and fell. Not only did they master various types of magic, Hoyhimen philosophers and artists contributed to their cultural magnificence. They used yahoos, feral human-like creatures, as laborers. However, in the modern age, Hoyhimen has declined in power and economy and has been forced to join the empire as a province to keep the kingdom intact. Many Hoyhimen complain about the inclusive rules of the empire, which politicians have dubbed equining. Hoyhimen have much to learn about equality, but they face their own disrespect. Many wealthy adventurers have exotic steeds, so some really joke about Hoyhimen would make good mounts, a statement that is wildly offensive. They would never let another ride them, regardless of circumstances. Though they believe their culture is under attack, Hoyhimen are still free to worship Epona, the Wild Lord. Hoyhimen believed created them by exalting ancient horses with sentience. They also believe that upon death they will go to the realm of Epona, said to be the home of magical equine races. Other sentient animals exist on Arcana. The animal kingdom is home to sentient jungle and savanna beasts, while the high bear nation of the frozen north belongs to the sentient polar bears. Some sentient animals live average lifespans, while others can live thousands of years. Okay. Ability score. Your strength increases by 3. Okay. Are foals until they reach maturity at 8. They can live to 10,000 years. Okay. Arrogant and xenophobic Hoyhimen rigorously enforce laws that benefit only their kind. They care little for the health and feelings of others. They are typically lawful evil. Rare. It would be odd to see a Hoyhimen outside their territories, but one that traveled would make sure to let others know of its presence. Standing as horses, Hoyhimen are between 4.5 and 5 feet tall and around 8 feet long. They weigh anywhere between 800 and 1,200 pounds. Size is large. Base walking speed is 50 feet. The charger feat. You have hooves you can use to strike, and so your unarmed strikes deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage. Your hooves have the light weapon property, and you have proficiency with them. So you can... You are unable to use normal melee or ranged weapons. However, you can wear modified horseshoes that have light weapon property and allow your hooves to deal either slashing or piercing damage, cost 15 gold each. You can opt for heavier horseshoes that cost 20 gold each and allow your hooves to deal 1d8 bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage. You can wear a different weapon shoe on each hoof, but you have to take a 5-foot penalty to your walking speed if you wear these shoes, and a 10-foot penalty for 4. If you wear 3 shoes, and a 10-foot penalty for 4. The SM might allow other hoof species to access to these weapons. Monstrosity. Your creature type is monstrosity. However, spells that normally target only humanoids still affect that, and effects that normally target only humanoids still affect you. Due to your build, each foot of climb costs you 4 extra feet of movement. Trampler. If you move so you qualify for the damage bonus from your charger feat and hit with your hoof attack, you can force your target to attempt a strength saving throw. If the target fails, you can knock it prone, and as part of dealing your hooves damage. Speak, read, and write, common, and huh. Peg. Oh, variants. Here we go. Variant horse-like species with the following changes. A daymare. You have white or silver coat and deliver dreams to mortals. Your strength score is increased by 2, and you gain the dream rest rate of the storyteller race in this book. You create creature type is celestial, though spells that normally affect target only humanoids can still affect you. You also speak, read, and write astro, celestial, or whimsy. Daymares are legendary and often chaotic good. Kelpie. You have a scaled coat. Your strength score increases by 2, and you gain the amphibious and ocean dweller traits of the merfolk race in this book. Creature type is elemental, although spells and effects that normally target only humanoids still affect you. You can speak, read, and write aquatic or elemental. Kelpies are also speak, read, and write. Kelpies are rare and often chaotic evil. Okay. Nightmare. You are black coat and red eyes. Oh, this is the daymare up here. And that's the nightmare over here. Okay, that makes sense. Delivering nightmares to mortals. Your strength score is increased by 2, and you gain the dream rest trait of the storyteller race of the book. Your creature type is a fiend, although the spells and effects that normally target only humanoids still affect you. You speak, read, and write infernal or shadow tongue. Nightmares are legendary and often neutral evil. Oh, that's the Kelpie there. That makes sense. That looks more like a scaled. And then Pegacorn is this one. You have wings, a horn, and coat that can present in varied colors. Your strength score increases by 1. You gain the weak wings trait. See Appendix A. So weak wings are basically you can't fly. You can glide, essentially. In addition, you can use a horn that goes from your center of your forehead to deal damage with your unarmed strikes, like your hooves. Your creature type is celestial. Although spells and effects that normally target only humanoids still affect you. Speak, read, and write celestial, skyborn, or whimsy. Pegacorns are mythical and often neutral good. Kelpies, pegacorns. Then we got reindeer. Pegasus. You have wings and a white coat. Oops, sorry, excuse me. Your strength score is increased by 2, and you gain weak wings trait. Your creature type is celestial, although spells and effects normally target only humanoids still affect you. You could also speed, read, and write either celestial or skyborn. Pegasi are legendary and often chaotic good. Reindeer. You are a magical reindeer. Your strength score increases by 1, and you gain the Superion movement trait of the Superion race in this book. In addition, you can cast the light cantrip, but the target is your nose, and you need no material components. So basically, you can go Rudolph. Your creature type is Fey, although spells and effects that normally target only humanoids still affect you. You can speak, read, and write glacial or whimsy. Reindeer are legendary and often lawful good. Power Pony. You have the coat, your variety of bright colors and markings that resemble hearts, butterflies, or rainbows, for example. If you vomit, it is rainbow colored. Actually, fun fact, horses, in general, at least regular old terrestrial, non-magical, non-sentient horses, cannot throw up. It is not a good survival trait because it makes them very susceptible to poisoning. But that is a thing that you can't. So they wouldn't be able to vomit. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that. We were doing double check. Science time. It's typically caused by an organ bursting in their digestive system. The most likely scenario is ruptured stomach caused by extreme pressure. There's no way out. The horse's lower esophageal valve is powerful and withstands a lot of pressure. So basically, so this one says they can't. That one says if it is, it's an organ failure. So basically, if you, a serious low horse could regurgitate, which is different than vomiting. Vomiting is a okay, regurgitating is different than vomiting. Okay. So if it, they do end up regurgitating, it's burst digestive. It's like their stomach bursts open. Like if their stomach rips open. Yeah, they can't actually vomit the way humans or other species can. Fun fact. Good to know. Um, your strength score increases by 2 when you know the friend's cantrip. If you use that cantrip to help the target in some way, the target doesn't become hostile to you when the spell ends. Your creature type is Fey. Those spells and effects that normally target only humanoids still affect you. You speak, read, and write whimsy. Power ponies are legendary and often neutral good. Unicorn. You have horn and a pure white coat. Your strength score is increased by 2, and you can use a horn that grows from the center of your forehead like your hooves to deal damage with your unarmed strikes. Your creature type is celestial, although spells and effects that normally target only humanoids still affect you. You can speak, read, and write either celestial or skyborn. Unicorns are mythicorn and often neutral good. Ooh, humans. See, humans have their own thing, but halflings don't. Like, freaking, come on. All right, okay, it's 10:20. I think I'm going to end the stream here, if that's okay with all of you guys. I know there's not many people in chat. Viewers down to 1, yeah. Okay. Oh, I appreciate the follow, by the way, Velazion. I'm sorry for mangling the pronunciation of the username. Okay, so we're going to end here for today. We're gonna do other cool stuff. Like, I'm gonna do another one on Arcana, because this is fascinating, and I wanna do something more with it. But for right now, it's just we'll go through on Sundays. We'll read about the lore. We'll postulate, do some stuff, learn some fun fact science. You know, basically all of that. We are going to do all of that. We're going to power nap and then thingy. Okay, so thank you for coming to the stream. I really appreciate it. Of course, check out Relentless Rebels. I gotta say it. I don't know if anyone's actually watching, but I'm putting the link in the chat. RelentlessRebels.com. And then you get the code to get the 20% off, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's the longest stream the most, but like, I really am vibing with the Arcana, and I would hope that you guys want to hang out with me and do more of them. Let me know. There is that. Thank you very much. All that jazz, etc., etc. Let's see who we might want to read. Somebody. I'm gonna go Little Bones. Let's do it. We're raiding Little Bones. Run to the channels. I don't know who we're bringing on the raid. It might just be me, but I'm gonna read it anyway because I figured it's fun now. All right, bye-bye. Let's do that. Let me just do this. Let me just do that.